Hello YouTube, Rick Farrah here, checking in from Briarville, the repair and restoration shop at Joe K's Pipes. Enjoying a cup of coffee this morning with my Waffle House mug. It's Folgers, not that sissy stuff that my brother-in-law drinks. Got a story to tell you about Starbucks here in just a second. But I did want to show you this pipe here. And the reason for this video, unfortunately I didn't save it, but my pipe tip of the week coming from Briarville. So you can avoid the shop. Don't do this. Don't drop your pipes. My daughter, this stem was created by Rod, a guy I met out in Texas for the that long ass name, Texas Hootenanny Showdown barbecue over there with my buddy Making Change and all the rest of the guys that showed up over there. And so, you know, we had a great time and make plans, obviously, or definitely for next year to go out there and check that out, because it really was a hoot. We had a ball. But anyway, Rod was there. He's just 100% hobbyist. He doesn't sell pipes, doesn't do anything like that, but he does make them, and he donated this to the cause. And as you recall, the cause was to help autistic kids. And I won Rod's pipe. Well, this pipe came with a gorgeous gold acrylic stem. And my daughter, she drops the pipe while she was checking it out. And of course, the stem shatters. Well, anyway, I went and fashioned this one for it. And you can see it's once again, it's a nice pipe and it's an excellent smoker and we're having a good time. But that is the pipe tip of the week. Don't drop your pipes. And let's start the debate. Acrylic versus vulcanite. What's your favorite? Because that's probably one of the most frequent questions I get when people need to replace their stems. Where can I go buy a stem for my pipe? Well, you can buy them from the same supplier as I do. They're on the internet. But what you're going to get is a stem blank. And this is a pretty decent one, actually. Let me show you what that looks like. Now notice right there, there's only a space for the tenon. That has to be cut. And what you do when you get these blanks, and here's the difference between the blanks and the blocks or the rods, is they're preformed, but they're formed very rough. You can see if you look real close. Let me let that focus here. Let's see. See that little ridge right there? That's from the molding. It runs all up and down there, and it's not very, and it's certainly not shiny like a new one is when they're finished. Also, they have to be fit to the pipe. Obviously, the goal is to get a pipe or a stem blank that is in the around the same size diameter wise of the stem as the shank here, and that lessens the work. Now, inevitably, the mortises are not always drilled center. So you're going to have a fat side on one side and a skinny side on the other. Consequently, the stem has to be shaped to the mortise in the pipe. So that's the reason why you have to send in your pipes to have the stems replaced, because everything has to be fashioned and fit together. And it's why you can't just go out to the stem store and buy you a new stem for your pipe, because otherwise You guys wouldn't need me. Now, back to our little debate. I think we need to have an experiment on what's the best stem. And why not to drop your pipes? Well, by not dropping the pipes, you avoid the trip to Briarville, and that's a good thing for you guys. But acrylic stems are more fragile than vulcanite stems. That's the con to acrylic. Now, the pro, on the other hand, on the pro side of the aisle, acrylic stems don't oxidize like vulcanite does. Good coffee. Folgers. Let me tell you about that before we move forward. Let me tell you about that story. There was this baker, right? Every morning he got up and baked his bread. He was there long before the sun came up, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Before everybody got out and about, he was baking his bread, and he would set 2 baskets of bread on the counter. And then the store would open up, and his store was located right next to a Starbucks. And I walked in and I said, you know, you could just smell the fresh baked bread, almost coming out from the street. I mean, it was great. It was, and you knew the guy had been working there all morning long. I walked in and I saw the 2 baskets of bread. One was marked 50 cents and the other one was marked $5. And I said, asked the baker, I said, well, what's the difference in the 2 baskets of bread? And he said, nothing. It's the same bread. Then I asked, well, why is one basket $5 and the other one only 50 cents? Because he told me the idiots next door at Starbucks love to pay $5 for a loaf of bread. Hear that, Joe? Kind of sound familiar? So anyway, back to our stems. Here is some raw stock. This actually happens to be some Cumberland material used. It's an ebonite or a vulcanite, but it's used to make Cumberland bits, and you've seen them a lot on Dunhill. It's that bindle style bit, or that multicolored vulcanite. And this stuff is really pricey. So are the acrylic rods that come, and the acrylic blanks, rather the blocks. Blocks are about this size, and then just like they suggest, they're a square block rather than a round rod. But anyway, we've got to cut the stem out of that, which is more labor intensive, and the material's more expensive. Consequently, when you hand cut a stem, now you can get pretty much exactly what you want doing that, but it just takes a long time in doing it. Hence the labor intensity of it all obviously brings the price up. There's nothing wrong with these preformed stems that we get here at Briarville. It's all excellent vulcanite. They're all imported. The acrylic is excellent. You won't find a finer acrylic and lucite than these stems here anywhere. Okay, on to our experiment. Which is more fragile? Let's go destroy a couple of stems. Here we got a pipe and a stem, and here we've got a concrete floor. Now let's first drop the vulcanite, the faux Dunhill. All right, are we back far enough? Can you see? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, out! The conclusion to our experiment is vulcanite is stronger than the shank. Okay, don't try this at home, folks. We're professionals. So let's just try it this way, without the stumble. Whoops. Don't want to scare anybody. Okay, here we go. Same scenario. We got stems here, concrete here. Let's drop them and see what happens. Same time, here they go. Aha! Look at this. Look at this. Believe it or not, the acrylic stood up over the vulcanite this time. So, conclusion of our experiment, take your pick. Choose whichever you like. And don't drop your pipes. From Briarville, Rick Farah. Thanks for watching. Peace out.